Welcome to the newest unboxing here on the Needless Things YouTube channel. Today, this is a supplemental review, if you will. This is the deluxe edition of the HasLab Ectomobile. I already reviewed the standard edition, so I'm not going to be redoing any of that today as far as details about the car itself or the figures in that set. As a matter of fact, what that means is I can just take this sleeve off, which you can see is a different sleeve. It's same graphic, it's just extended. I do notice here they've got the toolbox, which the box is intended to kind of mimic that look in the background of this image. And this is the 1A. Here you can see with the, I'm still confused by the 2 in the logo. I just rewatched Ghostbusters 2, which isn't necessarily going to give me any more detailed information than I had. I just wanted to rewatched both of them, but this is more relevant to the second movie. But do they know they're in a sequel? I don't get it. But the lights up top here, these are the differences. So we are going to slide this out because this is relevant to today's topic. And we're going to take this portion of it and just set it off to the side for later. And what I will do, we're going to unbox what's in this additional box for the deluxe pack. And then at the end, once I've got the car assembled in the Ecto-1A configuration from Ghostbusters 2, we'll go over the differences and take a look at everything. So this is the top portion of the toolbox, psychomagnetheric ectoplasm, which of course is the pink ectoplasm from the second movie. We really need a Vigo figure. And a Janusz. Lots more figures, really. I'm hoping Hasbro is going to put more into this line, but you never know. On the back here, we've got the Manhattan Museum of Art, Get Lost in a Painting. That's pretty funny. Little handprint there. And then on the top, don't forget, birthday party at 2 p.m. Bring Winston. Peter's crossed out. That's actually really funny. That feels very true to the Ghostbusters sort of humor. 1989, Statue of Liberty visitor. Like really cool stuff they've added onto the box here. Let's see, what's this one? Oh, whoops. Oh, World of the Psychic. See, some of this stuff I would have liked if they'd included actual stickers and things. This would have been a neat little additional touch here. Probably the other side is another World of the Psychic if it's nope, nothing on the other side. The other box kind of duplicated a couple of library stickers. So anyway, I think this is neat, fun packaging. But you guys know me. Oh, and Raise Occult Books. I would love a Raise Occult Books t-shirt, but I'm sure I could get on TeePublic and get a non-licensed one. Not that I would do such a thing, because my gosh, to deprive any of these corporations of money would be just terrible. Terrible. I don't encourage it at all. But anyway, I like this packaging. I think it's fine. I'm going to throw it all away, so I appreciate package design, but at the same time, it's not super critical to me, especially for a project like this that's never going to appear on a retail shelf. Oop, okay. All right. We've got the guys, which I am not going to be reviewing these. These are going to be, these will go up tomorrow. Let's just stack all of that over here. Just because I think there's definitely enough there to do an additional review. The first, the other label sheet, which if you watched my review of the basic product, whoa, dragging my covering. If you watch my review of the basic product, you know I took issue with the labels and some parts that they decided should be labels, and I'm just now seeing, wow, okay. So this is my own fault. I didn't realize these This is going to sound crazy now that I'm thinking about it, but maybe not. I didn't know that these were going to be labels, were going to be stickers. I thought there was going to be a display that lit up, which now sounds crazy, but I've also got the reference of how the car was executed to kind of manage my expectations about what Hasbro delivers for Ghostbusters. And I'm sure in the description, nowhere did it say that, be careful with this because I can't tell. Okay, so it's not secured in here. This is just wrapped around holding it in. See, you're going to have to... Oh, wow, there goes everything. Okay, so that's the only thing that was holding that tray in. I guess we'll go ahead and just dump all those parts out. Be mindful of these, so no more antenna, which is another item I pointed out, I'll say, in the other review. That I'm not really satisfied with how they executed the antennas in this. And then here I'm looking at these. And these are plastic, which was seemingly okay. And I'll tell you right now, for me, your mileage may vary. Okay, first let's make sure I got everything out of there. Everything's out of there. Okay, your mileage may vary, but if the aerials or antenna or whatever you want to call them on the car had been this thin, I would have been perfectly fine with that. I don't like that they're metal at all. Ooh, look at that. That's nice. So the reason I ordered two, as I mentioned in the last review, Ghostbusters is one of my favorite movies. I think it's a perfect movie. It's one of my favorite movies. I couldn't tell you how many times I've seen it. But I will say this, as far as details go, Ghostbusters is a franchise that, though I love it, I have never dug into the lore the way that I did with like Star Wars and G.I. Joe and some other franchises. Ghostbusters, it was enough for me to just love the movie, to love real Ghostbusters. And I like Ghostbusters 2 as well. I certainly don't have the same issues with it that a lot of people seem to have. So this is a complete replacement roof. So that's all of our parts for the vehicle itself. Oh, I like those new wheels. And then the alternate labels, which I guess I'll go ahead and take those out. Oh gosh, I'm not looking forward. Well, one, the labels from the original do not stay on very well. And two, I'm just not excited about putting these on the car at all. Because I'm only slightly more competent. Okay, so these are like film pieces. So these will just like slide into place in here. But, and again, having reviewed the car now, I understand where this design team is coming from. But I thought these were going to be like LED displays. That didn't seem like an unreasonable thing to think. And again, I'm sure nowhere in the description did it even suggest that. And it probably flat out said options for these or whatever. And we'll see. We'll see how it looks. So that's all the alternate stuff. What I'm going to do is assemble the Ecto-1A, and we're just going to go over the differences between the Ecto-1 and the Ecto-1A, because there's no reason to do a full review of this. I'm not going to call it an upgrade kit, but, well, it is. It's an upgrade kit. All right, so for me, I'm going to take a little break and put some things together. For you guys, you're just going to get a little wipe. So just dropping in, if you remember on the Ecto-1, we had these little plug-ins that fill in gaps that aren't used on the specific model, which, as you can see, aren't contoured at all and don't blend with the body at all, but that's what they are. So we have a hole up here that was used for an antenna or an aerial on the Ecto-1 that's not used on the 1A, and I looked everywhere. Looked like it did, because these don't fit. These are not the same thing. And then I realized, oh, wait a minute. They mixed accessories for the car and accessories for the figures in the different trays. So I went and looked, and sure enough, here is presumably, I haven't taken it out yet, but we'll do that right now, the one that'll fit there, because it's a different shape. And looking at it, I don't know that it's going to. Okay, no, that doesn't work. So is it this other one? No, this looks like the same thing. Oh, so maybe these plug into, I don't know. I'll check back in on that. And then the other thing, we got an answer finally to, or I got an answer, the wheels, how they switch out. But I'll cover that when I'm in the workshop with the car. But it's kind of neat. And I thought that this tool might be for that, because my original thought was this tool popped the roof of the car up, and it does not. And then I thought, oh, maybe it pops the piece that holds the axle for the wheels into place, and it doesn't do that either. So this is still a mystery as of now. All right, let's wrap this up. First of all, I want to make it absolutely clear that I am thrilled to own both of these. I think they're both worth having. I'm happy to have backed this HasLab. So, like, at the end of the day, these are great. They're going on my shelf. Happy to have them. Probably be the last Ectos I ever buy. Little comparison side by side. We've got the Ecto-1, the Ecto-1A. As you can see, the 1A is just a more toyetic, and we'll get a closer look at the side and everything, but just a more toyetic vehicle, which is why I wanted to have it. All this extra stuff on the top, some of the differences with the sides and everything, the labels, it just, I couldn't not have the original, but this is the better toy, if that makes sense. Off to the side here, we've got all the stuff that was not used for, got my Roku remote, all the stuff that was not used for the 1A. You can see the wheels from the 1. So shove that off to the side there. And they really are just both wonderful. But now we're going to take a look at, well, okay, one of the big differences, one of the issues that I had with the 1A is the cap that was supposed to fit here that I was looking at a second ago, like 2 hours ago to me, but a second ago to you guys. The cap doesn't fit there at all. So I just put this little aerial in that apparently isn't supposed to be on this model, but it looks better than the cap that doesn't fit. Let's see, what else? We'll go through it. So there you go. There's the side-by-side. Let's get the 1 out of here and focus on the 1A. Oh, and I will bring the one back when we do the lights and sounds, just to do a little comparison. So I hated absolutely every second of putting these labels on, but I do think I did a relatively good job of it. There are some issues with the design. And I want to be clear when I'm talking about, like, their design problems. There hasn't been anything defective so far with either of the ones that I've gotten. The issues that I have are with how it was designed. And one of those issues is, you can see right up here, this panel should be white and not silver. And this extends, this should either go all the way up here or end right at this seam. It shouldn't overlap in that way. And I feel like all of these are just a bit too long, which if I'm buying something for $30, $40 from Walmart, I don't care. If I'm paying $350, $400 or whatever, they need to be measured pretty accurately. Now, these over-the-door ones seem to work pretty well. As I say, though, every second of putting these labels on was just miserable. Because, you have to get them spaced and straightened and lined exactly right, or it's going to look terrible. And there are a couple of spots where I just didn't get it quite right, but I'm going to go with good enough. So what makes me say that panel should be white is, you can see right here where that label extends from the seam at the door all the way to just where the headlight is. And I thought, well, that can't be right. Surely that's not supposed to be like that. But then when you reference the actual art from the packaging, you can see that should be white all the way up to where the headlight is. So that's the reason that stripe extends where it does in the instructions for the label. So that is a design error, production error, I don't know, but it is not correct according to this and according to what it looks like the labels should be. Back to it. So, like I said, I'm happy with these, but there are a few little issues I've got with the way that things were done. First of all, this is 2 separate stickers, which is just an additional frustration of having to line stuff up properly. This goes over the top of this little cap, and the cap is not flush with the body of the car, but it works okay. You can see this one, like, it's just not quite the right length for that door. New wheels look really good. I really like these white wheels on the second version. I also love, and this is just a movie design aspect of this, I love how tacky this is. How they have just covered it with ads and the hazard stuff and it's just, it feels right. It's very crass, and the advertising, I don't know. I love that. I think that's great. We've got a different bumper on this one from the other one. License plate is still a sticker, which I really doesn't make sense here. Why not sculpt it in if it's a completely different piece? But it is a different license plate from the original. I also like these foot pegs back here, even though I don't know who's going to be hanging on the back. Just the fact they put them on is good. And that steel grid, whatever this is called, looks great. And then on the other side here, I got a couple other issues with this side. So this does not plug in securely at all. It's stretched just a little too tight. So you can see where it's supposed to plug in right there. And it just doesn't stay plugged in. It's stretched a little tight, and it's a softer plastic, and there's no like click or anything. It's just supposed to sit there because this comes up when you take the roof off. So it just doesn't plug in well. And then the other issue is, again, the little cap that's supposed to go in here. This is where the rear aerial was on the first car. It's not on this car. So the little cap is supposed to go in there, but it's not flush. So it juts out, and it made this sticker look terrible. So I just took it out and covered it with the sticker, which still doesn't look great, but to me looks better than the sticker like bubbling up around that raised surface. Lots more detail on this new roof rack. I mean, it's awesome. It's more, there's more. It is the sequel of car designs, so to speak, because it's taken the same thing and just made more of it. Same issue on the first one as the aerial, although you could conceivably hook this aerial in just right there, I guess, if you wanted to. That doesn't look great. Maybe there's something to do with it. Oh, tuck it under the sign or something. I don't know. But the aerial on the first one, the first model, doesn't reach the roof rack. So you can't tuck it into anything to curve it back like it's supposed to be. Just don't love that. As I said, just take one of these and tool them in the right shape, and that would have been fine with me. I did not need them to be wire. So let's take a look at the lights and sound. Well, the sounds will be the same, but let's take a look at the lights on this one. And we'll do a side-by-side on the lights. I don't know if I want two going off at once. That might be kind of obnoxious, but you know what? Why not? So I have not tested this one yet. We've got, oh, you know what I didn't show you? So underneath, to swap out the wheels, this pops off and this pops off, and you pull out the whole axle and swap the wheels out. So I thought maybe that white tool that we're trying to figure out was for that. I'll show you the tool in a second. But it's not. These, you have to grab, I don't want to put this on it. You have to grab either side. There's a little tab here and here. You have to grab either side of this piece and just pull up, and it comes out. So this is the tool that I still have not figured out. I don't know. I did use it to lift off decals a couple of times when I placed them like a little off. So, and so, because I don't know if I showed it before, well, I can just do that. There's the port for the USB. So you don't have to use batteries for this, which is a fantastic feature. So just plug that in. You have to flip a little switch. I hope I did that right. Yep, there we go. I'm going to dim the lights a little bit so these show up better. So the bottom lights are all going to be the same. It's going to be when it goes into full-on siren mode where things change up. Oh, so that's beautiful. That's absolutely incredible. There's your front view. Same thing. You've got those flashers on the front, just like the other one. All the bottom stuff works the same. But I will say the sign on the grate, the sign on the side looks great. I wish it moved. I wish it was an LED board, but it looks great. And you've got a few different options to put in there. You've got those lights on the back. I mean, this is gorgeous. There's two. I like We're Ready to Believe You, but I'll show you the other options in a second. But I mean, those lights are wonderful. So let's. Oh, something I forgot to mention. You also have a light on the bumper, and I didn't even notice that this piece of the bumper slides out on the sorry. Okay. I didn't even notice this piece of the bumper slides out on the first one, and you replace it with this little, you get a little dome up here. That's wonderful. That's such a nice little detail that I never ever would have noticed, no matter how many times I watch Ghostbusters 2. So let's turn that off. And get, I guess just for fun, get the Ecto-1 back up here. And we'll have the Ecto-1 and the Ecto-1A. Just a little comparison of what they look like beside each other. So let's see. I believe. Yep, there we go. Wonderful. Move that one down just a tad more. There we go. That's going to have to be good enough. Let's turn that off. Nope, wrong button. Okay. So I'm going to try and start them both up at the same time, and let's see what happens. What a lovely cacophony we're dealing with here. 2 Ecto-1s, 2 1/12 scale. All right. Thanks, guys. That's enough. Ha! 2 1/12 scale Ectomobiles, excuse me. The Ecto-1 and the Ecto-1A. And something else I'll point out. I thought this looked too small, but I actually went and looked at references from the movie. And while you really don't get a lot of clear looks at the hood, this appears to be about the right size. Just aesthetically to me, it seems like you would want it to be bigger, but it is not. This looks it's about the right size compared to what's in the movie. I will mention again, I mentioned it in the other review, was you can see right here. So there's a label right here. It's on a curved surface. And a day after I put it on, it just came loose. I'm going to put that right back on the label sheet because you can reuse these, but they don't stick on very well in the first place. Let's see if this one is doing the same thing. It is, but it's on less of the surface. Nope, there it goes. If it's on a curved surface, those labels just come right off. So that's not great, and I'll just leave them off. So I've gotten a lot of feedback on the first review, which I appreciate. I like hearing everything. And if you don't agree with me, that's fine. We don't all have the same opinions. But there have been some comments that were definitely disappointed with some of the criticisms I've had of this. And that's fine. If it's perfect to you, I am thrilled for you. I'm absolutely delighted that you think this product is everything that you wanted it to be. I'm wondering if this almost looks like a sticker from up here, but no, that's just part of it. Okay, so anyway, if you differ from my opinion, that's fine. Some people are going to have more problems with these than I did. Some people are going to have no problems with it. It's fine. We all have different opinions about toys. We all have different standards. We all have different expectations. We all have different experiences with what we collect and what we expect from things. So, don't get too worried about my opinion of this. If you love it, that's great. I'm just here to share my thoughts, to point out some things that I think people might want to know about, and just to give a little review, to have some fun. So don't take anything that I say too seriously. And as I've documented over and over and over again, I'm here for enthusiasm. Expertise, especially depending on what franchise it is, I may not have that. I may not have as much as you do, and that's fine. We're here to have fun and look at toys. So thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, share, tell your friends about Needless Things. And also, tomorrow, I will be reviewing the Ghostbusters figures that came with this deluxe set. So look for me to say more wrong and overly critical things tomorrow. And it's actually really funny, because usually I get guff for not being critical enough. So this is a new experience for me. I'm kind of enjoying it. Thanks, Ghostbusters fans. So come back tomorrow, check out that review. Until next time, buy what you like.
Smash that like button if you like Needless Things.